Well, that didn't work out as anticipated. I wanted to pull off my Alu-Cab contour canopy because I had a Windrock trip planned and I just didn't need it. I like to try to strip down the vehicle as much as possible. Every single time I go to Windrock with my Gladiator, as soon as I get on a difficult trail, there's some part of the body that gets hit on a rock or stump or something. So I was like, you know what? Maybe just leave this at the house. One of the reasons I wanted the Alu-Cab contour canopy is the fact that it's fairly lightweight. It's a little over 120 pounds. I've had good luck with pulling them off by myself in the past. I should have just waited for a friend and just tossed it here. Once it fell on the ground, I inspected it, made sure no glass was broke or anything. Zero issues with it, perfectly fine. I picked it up by myself, got it up against the wall here, and it actually works really well for my limited sort of storage in this warehouse because I can back this Wrangler in right here with a 38-inch tall tire right up to it. The spare fits essentially inside of the Alu-Cab, and we're in good shape. I did scratch up the bed, but that was the least of the bed problems, and I'll show you a little bit more about that here in a second. So this happened. Despite my best effort to try to not do body damage to the truck, I swear every single time I go to Windrock and I get on a difficult trail, no matter what I'm driving, I end up with some sort of souvenir. Now, this mark right here is actually from when the Alu-Cab flipped off of it. So I already had a little bit of damage on this. This was the bad side. This was such a simple, like, I can't believe it happened. I needed a little bit of momentum. Going up a trail, there was a stump just like sticking out a little bit, really just a root. And the truck just popped into it, and that's what happened. It peeled back the metal. Got a nice little hole here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I might like glue like a Buzz Lightyear holding onto it. Maybe I put one of those like big Band-Aid stickers on it. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much. I just want to keep it from rusting, and it is what it is. I can still put my Alu-Cab on the back here. Shout out to Oracle. The tail lights, they've got some marks on them, but still in place. I would have for sure broken off the original tail light. I've done that plenty of times, so I'll give them credit for that. And it is what it is. You know, one of the challenges of wheeling a Gladiator is that you've got this big old bed back here, and it's really easy to get into these corners and screw them up. Maybe I'll look into some like body armor for the back corners. I don't know. Haven't really decided. I'm not going to bob the bed, I can tell you that much. If I was even going to go consider that, I'd probably go moto-built bed, probably even a steel moto-built bed to balance out the weight. But for right now, I still want to be able to put the Alu-Cab back on, still be able to go camp. This is just, you know, it's a trail scar. It's not really that big of a deal. It's kind of wild, and it's one of the questions I get a lot about is, you know, how can you prevent this? And one of the challenges that I did, and I don't necessarily want to call it a mistake, but I want to talk about the tires and wheels, and if I had to change a decision that I made 3 or 4 years ago, what I would change. So I want to talk about the tires and wheels on this thing because I get a lot of questions about it, and there are some things that I would probably do differently. Now, this Jeep is running a 40 by 1350 R17 Nitto Trail Grappler. Love the tire. I've never balanced it. This is the same 40-inch set that's been on here since I think 2021, about middle of 2021. So I'm recording this like July, I think it's July of 2025, and zero issues. These tires have been rock solid. They're not super loud. They perform fantastic off-road. I love the Trail Grappler. For sure would go back with another Trail Grappler. The wheels are a 17 by 8.5 trail ready beadlock. I ordered these with 5.5 inches of back spacing, and the reason I did that is because when I ordered these Dynatrac Pro Rock XD60 axles, I ordered them with 72.5-inch configuration. So that's a little bit wider than your standard like 68, 68.5. And the reason I did that is because I knew I could get a high numerical backspace wheel and the scrub radius would be much better, so this thing would drive really well. Originally when I built it, I didn't even have hydraulic assist on it, and I couldn't believe how easy it drove, and part of that was because it did have really good scrub radius, and there wasn't a ton of leverage because the tire and wheel wasn't sticking out really far. It was pivoting really well over the ball joints. All that was great. And if it wasn't for how much of a challenge it was off-road and the stupid dead spot from the factory steering gearbox, I don't know if I even would have needed to go with a hydraulic assist. Ultimately I did, and it sort of negated some of the benefits of the high numerical backspacing. It still makes it drive better, it's still a positive, but there have been some challenges, and me denting the bed in Windrock is a good example of a time where if this tire and wheel package stuck out a little bit further away from the vehicle, I don't think I would have had the body damage, because it would have kind of kept it away from the walls of that particular trail. And there have been instances where I've hit the hubs off-road because the hubs stick out past the beadlock ring, and that's not great. So there are plenty of instances that I can sort of remember, and they've started to add up, where I go, man, I don't know if I would have gone 5.5 inches of back spacing again, regardless of how much better it steers and handles. The off-road challenges really start to add up, where I think if I had to do this wheel again, I probably would have done a 4 3/4 inches of back spacing. 5 inch, I think would still be, it'd be better, but I would probably go ahead and be on the safe side and go 4 3/4. And one of the reasons that I say that as well is because, when I originally built this, I kind of built it around a 40. I didn't really plan on going much larger than that because I don't trailer this. I drive it everywhere. I'm on the East Coast, and I'd like to go out West Coast wheeling. So this thing is driven to the Rubicon Trail. This thing is driven to Moab. So you're going to be on the interstate a lot, and with the 3.6 liter and the 8-speed automatic and 538 gears in the 40s, it's pretty manageable. It's really not that bad. I kind of was like, well, if I go any bigger, I feel like it's going to struggle. Now, here I am this many years later, and they actually have a 42 417, and I've had a few people ask, like, why don't you just go up to a 42? You got some age. I'm probably about 50% tread wear on these tires or so. And I've considered it, but I don't think I can run a 42 with this back spacing. I think it's going to hit the shocks. I think I'm going to have some, rubbing issues, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm going to have to buy another set of wheels and get another set of tires. It's probably not going to keep 8th gear on the interstate anymore. The power's already going to be, a little lackluster. I mean, the power's already a little borderline with it as it is, and I don't really want to do a V8 swap. So I'm torn. A lot of people, why don't you just go with the 42? Like, it'd help the wheelbase so much better, and I agree, but I don't know. I think for now, this setup just makes more sense. But if you're a Gladiator owner and you're thinking about going full width or axle width, stuff like that, I personally probably would not go. I'd still go back with the trail ready wheel. I like it. I bought these full retail. This isn't like I got hooked up a trail ready or anything. I still think it's a great wheel. I just would probably do a different back spacing. That's about it. Beyond that, man, this Jeep has really been solid. It steers really well off-road. I still am very glad I have a 2-piece rear drive shaft from JE Reel, because there are plenty of times where I'm climbing stuff or on the trail, and I think if I had a 1-piece, I just would have torn it up. This thing is just such a cool, versatile vehicle for, I don't consider myself an overlander by any means, but if I want to go camping, like, it's great to be able to have the bed to toss all the stuff on. And we live here at the beach, so we can go and, have beach days and all that good stuff. So super, super happy. And I feel like a lot of the videos that I make on the channel is like me putting on a part or reviewing a part or reviewing a vehicle. It's hard to sometimes carve out time to be like, hey, I've had this thing for 5 years, and this is what's going on with it. And thankfully, there hasn't been a ton of maintenance. The only little issue that I'm battling through right now is the steering has been getting hotter than usual, it seems like, and I'm getting a little bit of overflow. And I don't know if I'm just topping it off too much and it's spilling out, but I'm getting some purge out from the overflow, and that's you can see it dripping a little bit sometimes. And it only happens usually on the trail, not really getting on the highway. Steering still feels good, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I will say I'm pretty sure my Eaton front locker is toast. The saga of the Eaton lockers on this thing, if you are familiar with the channel, I broke 2 Eaton lockers in the back of this Pro Rock 60. The first one I got warrantied out. The side gear teeth failed and broke on me in Moab. The second one failed on me. It started skipping and popping and doing the same thing, and I didn't even want to try to get that one warranted, so I bought a ARB, had it installed by my local off-road shop, and it's been bulletproof, knock on wood. At Windrock, I heard the front start to do what the rear was doing, where it was like slipping and popping. So I'm pretty sure the teeth in the front are smoked on this thing, which is super disheartening because I really wanted those Eatons to be, you know, perfect, because you don't have to worry about air leaks or anything else. And now I'm probably gonna have to buy an ARB for the front. There's no ARB fairy coming to give me a $2,000 locker, so I've got to do that. And it, unlike the rear, which is pretty easy to tear apart, it's going to require a whole front end tear down. So I've got a little work ahead of me. Right now, still four-wheel drive is working, you know, I can still use it, but if you lock up the front locker and it gets in a bind, I'm hearing the pop. So it's just inevitable that thing's going to break. It did bind up where the locker didn't want to come out on me once or twice, and unfortunately that sort of ended my wheeling day a little early, because I knew I was kind of playing with fire with that front locker once it started to pop, and so it was sort of a abbreviated Windrock trip for me, which is a little bit of a bummer. So now I've got to do a little bit of work to get this thing going back, but that's really the update. Just kind of wanted to make a video showcasing what I've been doing. A lot of times, like I say, these videos are like, hey, I've changed something on it, and it's all about that. This is just like, hey, I've been using it. It's really been solid, honestly. I haven't really, knock on wood, had a lot of issues to address on it. If you got any questions, just drop them in the comments. If you want to see some of the stuff I'm trying to get done behind the scenes, you can always check me out on all social platforms at Ollie Mansour Editor. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to see you on the trail.